Hello, hello! Welcome to your Pick a Cat reading. So, for this one, I wanted to stick with general reading, so each three of these will probably be very different messages from each other. I do have a couple of other themed videos planned, I think the next one I'm going to do is What Do the Fates Want to Tell You? But really excited for that one. Sorry, I've been working with the Fates a lot lately, and I could just feel them come through in a very positive way when I said that. So for this one, 3 different cat stickers that my husband gave me. And so depending on which vibe of which cat you're feeling drawn to, that will hold a reading for you. Maybe you're drawn to one of them, 2 of them, or all 3 of them. I think you will intuitively know which area of your life each of these readings is talking about for the ones that you are called to listen to. So, the cards that were on the bottom of the deck after I was done shuffling and dealing for each of these was really synchronistic. We got the 5 of Swords in reverse and the 5 of Swords upright. So, definitely interesting. There is a message here to watch the things that you are both saying and the things that you are not saying. So, sometimes the things that we say can hurt or affect people in different ways, but also the things that we don't say can also have an effect on people as well, so be mindful of that. The oracle card here is the Bee, which I will read from the book. So this is industry, cooperation, and working collectively. The Bee card represents how sweet life can be if you work harmoniously with others. In nature, bees work collectively within their hive to pollinate flowers in order to make honey. Each member of the cooperative has an important task to fulfill for the greater good of the whole. The ancient Minoans especially valued bees and actively pursued beekeeping as an art. And so after this sentence, I just kept getting shut out as I was trying to read, none of the words were coming out right. So I think we're going to stop it right there after this one. But I think the key message here will be kind of cooperation. So it's again, you're trying to work together with this other person, this other party, this other something, and just be mindful of what you say and you don't say, and kind of the balance between that, as well as kind of what people are choosing to tell you, as well as what is being held from you at that time. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with the cat piles. All right, welcome pile 1. You guys picked the cute lounging cat eating taiyaki, I think, one of those little oh, I think it was supposed to be standing. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a Taurus, I was oh yeah, laying down, eating some snacks. That's cute. We're going to keep it that way then. And I'm going to go ahead and put all of the cards out first so we can go ahead and get started. All right, so to start off, you guys got the 3 of Pentacles for the main card. It was also really interesting to me that you guys had the 3 of Pentacles show up on the bottom of the deck after I was done shuffling too. So definitely a big confirmation for that. So there's a big energy of cooperation, teamwork. It's trying to build something with somebody else. And it's by both of you working on this, it becomes something greater than what just the 2 of you could have done independently. And I feel kind of right now you're being confronted with a lot of options or choices. It's you're having to, I think, make a lot of decisions. And maybe that's why you picked this one. It's maybe you just want to lay down and eat some snacks for a little bit. And kind of the thing that I heard is also there are some people who are working together with their spirit team for something. There's this kind of glowing halo around this mushroom that I was drawn to. So, I will not promote anything on here, but if you caught my message, you caught my message. But so definitely, again, working together, there's this energy of cooperation, and that is going to be the theme of this reading. I think will be helping you get into a better harmony, but the phrase I heard specifically was more in alignment with what you guys are trying to do. It's actually really interesting that there's the pile 2 has these 2 cats leaning on each other. I kind of am feeling a little bit of this from what I just said. So maybe if you're so inclined, go ahead and watch pile 2. I don't know, I haven't read it yet. I don't know what it's gonna say. But yeah, there's definitely this, I think for some people too, you may even be feeling a little overwhelmed with how much you're having to do or decide or work on right now. So again, it's kind of like this cat was maybe originally supposed to be standing up, but it's like, we're laying down, we're taking a bit of rest right now. And I definitely see that reflected a little bit over here on your side. So you've got the Ace of Wands in reverse with the Chariot card upright. So it's like there's this kind of, we'll say, like lack of energy, lack of passion that maybe once was there, or it's like because you have so many like real world decisions or things that you have to do now, it's kind of taken a little bit of that spark out of you, but you kind of have to keep moving forward. It's interesting that we got the 3 of Pentacles twice, and then we're getting the number 7 twice here. And we got the 5 of Swords upright first as well, so very interesting. So 3s deal again with teamwork and cooperation. The number 7 deals with life path. So it could be that something about this thing that you're trying to build or manifest is very important to you, and it's almost like the realness of it kind of sinking in could also be contributing to that Ace of Wands in reverse, like the fear of success, the fear of failure, the fear of not really knowing if it's going to be success or failure. And I feel like that could be, for some people there's the fear of success. I think some of that may even have to do with the fear of failure, where it's like you are successful but you fear failing in the future, and so it becomes like you don't want to keep trying to achieve or reach because it's like you have your success, you have your victory, you don't want to potentially have something that doesn't work out. That was just a little intuitive thing I felt the need to say and picked up on. But again, it's like this desire to move forward, but lacking a little bit of the passion or the spark to enable you to move forward. It's like trying to drive a car without as much fuel in the tank as it needs. Maybe it's on empty, it has been on empty for a while, but you've kind of just kept trying to like push that car along. Kind of what I'm feeling from this is like a little bit of rest would be good. So take your day to lay on your side, eat your fun little treat, like your snacks, your treats, your taiyaki if you have access to it. And just kind of like self-care day, especially with the little flower on this cat's head. Like, I don't know, to me it evokes like, I saw like, like a spa day with like one of those headbands, and it's like, like the cucumbers over your eyes, like chill, take a day to just chill, recover, recuperate yourself. And then I think you'll have more energy moving forward into this, where you'll feel excited by some of these choices that you have rather than viewing them as kind of just like not obstacles, but just kind of like hills to overcome. It's like, when you're going for a hike, it's like you're going for a hike, those hills are going to be there. But if every single time you get to one, you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this right now. It's like, I really was just hoping for like nice flat land. It's like, you should have gone for a walk then, not a hike. And if you're on a spiritual path, you kind of signed up to be on a hike, It's like you're trying to reach new heights, so things can't be the same flat, level plane that they've been, Okay, so next we've got the Queen of Swords for the external position. So it could be for this thing that you're working on. It's like you could be working with somebody who is a little bit older, a little bit more mature than you. I mentioned the thing about spiritual guidance here, and also with that white, I always want to call it a raven, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's an albino raven, although I'm sure those do exist. Actually, it does have a red eye, which I know albinos have. Maybe it isn't. Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyways, there's this white bird on her shoulder. And to me, the white animals signify like spiritual guidance. So it's like, even with like the white dog and the Fool card. So I think for some of you, it's like you're getting that spiritual guidance from an ancestor or an ascended master, someone who's kind of been through it and they have a lot of wisdom accrued within their wheelhouse to help you. Or for other people, if this is more of a physical thing, I think this will be like an older woman or a woman who is a little bit older than you or feels a little bit more mature in some aspect. Let's see, feminine air sign. Yeah, it could be an air sign too, or somebody who embodies a lot of air sign qualities, but obviously you're either already in this or you will kind of know what it is very soon, because I think there will be an offer or an opportunity that presents itself to you. The clarifying card for this is the Four of Swords in reverse, so kind of like, I feel like this person over here, is like lacking patience in a little bit. It's like they may be trying to like hurry things up a little bit, and that's one of the other things that's stressing you out, is like it feels like there's so much pressure on this. Could even be a maternal figure for some people. Like I know my mom's a Libra personally, so that evokes that of me. And it could be for some people too. It's like there could be a wound from childhood where maybe it's like you had very impatient parents, so now you're feeling impatient about yourself, or there's this sense of impatience that is stemming from an older woman. So it could even be for some people you're not working together with her on this, but she is this external source that's like, it's like her energy is feeding into it in some way, even if she's not an active corroborator. And so the cards that were on the bottom of the deck when I shuffled for this, to me, the bottom of the card decks represent kind of like background energy. It's like a part of the reading, but it's not necessarily something you can always act on per se. And so the first one is the Well card, which is one of 2 additional major arcanas that this particular deck adds. It's not a part of the traditional Smith-Waite system. But the Well is about this kind of like, after you've gone through the Fool's journey, it's like you're looking back at everything you've just gone through and you're drawing inspiration from this, like water from a well. It's like your experiences and this whole past cycle were that well, and now you're looking back and drawing things out as you need them. And so kind of, oh my gosh, it's like to me that kind of correlates a bit even with the Cup. So it's like you have maybe a lot of things that you've just accomplished or done or gone through, and it's like you're having a hard time picking which one thing you want to focus on maybe. Or maybe you want to focus on all of them. You want to try and get a little bit of like temperance action in there. It's like, mixing the cups together. So very interesting. And again, with that 3 of Pentacles being there, it's like you're working on building something, and it's like, I really do think it's like if you haven't already started working with someone, or maybe this is just kind of like some external pressure on it and not necessarily the person you're working together with, I think you will have some people coming into the picture soon that you will begin to work with. And again, maybe one of them will be an air sign or a female air sign in some way. And I think too, it's like when you work together with other people, or even just having to explain your idea to somebody else, that can help you kind of narrow these down a little bit. It's like one of my like college math professors said that if you like, he would always have us explain what he had just taught us to the person sitting next to us. And he would say, if you can't explain it to somebody, you don't actually understand it. So that could be a little bit of this too, because to me it's like this guy is kind of like taking the lead and these other guys are kind of like listening or giving him a little bit of feedback or direction, but it's like he's the one who's actually doing the work here. So yeah, I feel like even if you want to do this solo, or this is a thing that is a little bit more personal to you, I think getting the feedback of other people will be very beneficial for this and help you kind of sort some of the finer details out. This also is like it manifests it. It like manifests it down into reality when you have to verbalize it or vocalize it. So it takes it out of this idea realm into a little bit more of a physical thing. Okay. And the last card that we have here is the Phoenix, which the Phoenix, just like animal in general, is all about rising from the ashes. So maybe you've been a little burnt out is kind of like the key phrase for this. Again, so it's like, do take your time to recover. Please, please, please have a self-care day for yourself. And in the process of doing that, that will help you gather yourself again, re-spark that flame, and become that bright, beautiful phoenix that you were, but even greater than you were before. It's like rest and recuperation is a very integral part of like pretty much everything, but particularly like building muscle. So it's like, you'll become stronger if you have a rest day to recuperate, recover, allow your muscles the time they need to rebuild themselves, than you would if you just worked out 24/7 every single day of the week. So do allow yourself a rest period so that way you have this time to gather your energy so you can burst forth again. I'm going to see if there's anything else from the guidebook for this one. Oh, and this one is 44, so lucky angel number 44 as well. Oh, and this is the very last card in this oracle deck, which I didn't realize. So, the Phoenix card is a reminder to never lose hope. What appears to be gone will return again if we are patient. The phoenix is a universal symbol for resurrection and immortality. The legend of a great bird that dies and is reborn from fire has roots in many cultures. Perhaps the oldest of these is the Feng Huang, a Chinese phoenix that has figured in folklore for over 7,000 years as the embodiment of harmony and grace. Another ancient myth tells how the Bennu, an Egyptian sunbird associated with the sun god Ra and Osiris, the resurrected god of the afterlife. The Greeks incorporated elements of the Bennu story into their own myth of the phoenix. They believed that every 500 years the phoenix would build a nest that would be set aflame by the sun. As it settled upon this pyre, it sang a sweet song that drew all the birds of the world to witness its immolation. However, though the flames consumed the bird, the phoenix was not destroyed. Instead, it was reborn from the flames to live anew. And so I feel like that last part for some people, it's like, even though, maybe this is a thing that will take a little bit of work, I think it's like you will not be destroyed in the process. Maybe that's a thing that has happened before where you got kind of swept up in what it is that you had to do, or kind of certain expectations or things like that. But I feel like if you go through whatever this process is that your guides are trying to lead you to, I do think you will survive and become very successful on the other side of it. So you do just have to work through it. But again, do take time for yourself when you do need it. You are not doing yourself any favors by burning yourself out, and it may even make this process take longer. So that is what I have for you guys, pile number 1. Go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that bell notification so you can see when I post new videos. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me or get a personalized video reading, you can do that in the link down in the description on my website. So thank you so much, everyone. I love you and hope you have a good day. Bye. Hello, pile 2. You guys picked the Fusion Cats. So if you've ever seen the show Dragon Ball Z, there's like a thing that some of the characters will do called a fusion dance. That me and one of my best friends in high school used to do. It's like fusion. Ha! And then you guys like put your fingertips together and you make that curve. It looks like they're doing that to me. Kind of what I'm feeling from this is like, I feel like there's like some fusion happening for you. It's like the coming together of either two opposing ideas, you and another person, you and your inner self, like your external and your internal selves. It's like there's something about this like melding of the two that I'm picking up on. So I don't know, we'll see what the cards have to say for the rest of the reading. Okay. All right, so I like to put all the cards out first just because it helps me see if there's any similar themes showing up a little bit more readily. It is really interesting that we got the Temperance card in reverse with the kind of like fusion sticker to me. So I'll talk about the Ace of Swords first just because that is the main card. But so I think it's like, even though I said this thing about like the fusion or the coming together, I think there's like a new, like almost like a synthesis or something that creates like a brand new idea or a new way of doing something or a new way of thinking about something. Particularly because we have the Knight of Wands in reverse and the Nine of Wands, which both are kind of like homonyms with each other, like Knight, Nine. Maybe not homonyms, but it's like they sound really similar to me. Sometimes I mix up which word I'm saying when I'm supposed to say the other. But again, both of these are in reverse, and this is like the personal side of the reading, and this is the external side of the reading, or internal, external. And it's like with both of these being in reverse, it's kind of like both of you are wrong a little bit. And I think that's why the Temperance card is in reverse, so it's not like you guys have to like compromise, or it's like kind of like merge these two things together. Oh my gosh, the little thing I just saw. Okay, so it's like you have to, I think through this process, it's like you guys will need to put your heads together, which I just saw. I just think that's so cute. Like, put your heads together to come up with something new. It's like, this isn't working. Even just taking parts of both of what you want isn't necessarily working. So I think you guys have to come up with something entirely new. Something that's not A, not B, but like X or C or Z or something like that. It's like something different that you'll both be happy with, instead of trying to find a compromise for something. Okay. So for the internal side here, we've got the Knight of Wands in reverse with the World card upright. So Knight of Wands, when it's in reverse, is about like not really being able to move forward on something that you really want to, or it's like there's something preventing you or holding you back from the sense of self-expression or doing what you want. It's like the wands really signify action. And it can also be, when it's in reverse, like trying to move into things too quickly too. So it's like the sense of action is not actioning the way it's supposed to. And when it's like not in perfect alignment, you know, that metronome can fall on either side of the dial, but it's still not in that perfect alignment. So either moving too fast or moving too slow in some way could be a thing that you are internally dealing with in this part of the process. And it's like something about how you are currently doing something or thinking about something is kind of causing this metronoming effect. I'm seeing for some people it could be sometimes you act really quickly on something and then you do nothing at all, and it kind of keeps swinging back and forth. And so coming up with a new idea or new way of doing something will make it feel a little bit more stable. The clarifying card for that is the World card. So we have two major arcana clarifying cards right here. So the World card is the very last major arcana, where it's like a full closure or full like a completion of a cycle. Kind of one of the things that I'm feeling drawn to talk about for this are all of the animals around her. So I guess that one's not an animal, that's a man. But so these four animals signify the tetramorph, or maybe it's called something else, like the tetranomogram, or I think the tetranomogram is the name of God. So it's like the four animals represent these four angels that carry the throne of God, is what the quote is. And they also signify the four cardinal directions of the zodiac wheel. So we've got like Aquarius, the eagle is Scorpio for some reason, which never makes sense to me. And then we've got Taurus, the bull, and then Leo, the lion. I think they may be fixed signs rather than cardinal signs. And I kind of feel like something about this is like, I think working with the seasons will help you a lot. For some people, or even like, if this is like a clock, like having four kind of quadrants of your day and like trying to accomplish something in each of those quadrants, where it's like, even when you look at the, like the wheel of the year, it's like that's a big part of it, is different parts of the year are good for different things, or it's like, nature does different things during all four of those seasons. And so I think for some people too, this card being in reverse, it's like you could be trying to push through things that aren't necessarily the thing that needs to happen right then or there, or it's like trying to move something along when it's like out of season. It's like, you can't grow stuff as effectively in winter as you can in summer, or spring or summer, and it's like it could actually be harmful to the plant for trying to get it to grow when it is out of its season. So for the external side here, we've got the Nine of Wands in reverse. So the Nine of Wands is about kind of taking that last final step or push that you need in order to accomplish a big goal. To me, there's also this kind of story that happens where there's like a wound that happens in the Five of Swords or the Five of Wands, which the Five of Swords came up earlier on in the reading. And then it's like you have this victory with the Six of Wands, this kind of thing comes back in the Seven of Wands, you moved further past it with the Eight of Wands, and then there's kind of like this final opportunity to kind of slip back into conflict. That's one of the ways that I read it. But I really feel like for this one in reverse, it's like almost like not wanting to start a fight about something, or it's like not really having much of a like stake in this, if that makes sense. It's interesting that I said the thing about like not really wanting to fight anymore, and then there's like the Page of Swords here who looks super ready to fight. So it's kind of like, to me, it's like in action, but a lot of talk. So it's like saying a lot of things. This person may even be holding this sword or this new idea or way of thinking about something. But it's like something about non-action is a part of this. So it's like maybe like, I think it's like not following through with the things that are said, where it's like maybe this sounds good in theory, but then it's like when it comes to acting it out, you both struggle, or it's like, again, your internal, your external aspects struggle with being able to do this thing. And I think by coming up with a new idea, that could be the thing that makes it be better, because it's like, I think there's a like discrepancy between what is said and what is done here. For the cards on the bottom of the deck, so how I read bottom of the deck cards, these are background energies. It like applies to the reading, but is not necessarily something you can actively act on. And you have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So this is really interesting to me with that Temperance card being in reverse as well, where I think there's some kind of imbalance happening here. And that could be a reason why, again, there is just like a new idea or something that does need to surface or be come up with in order to get this to flow more harmoniously. The card that is clarifying that is the King of Cups, which the King of Cups is all about this like full mastery over the emotional state, or just very mature water sign. So it's again just like the emotions that have like this understanding behind them. And so with that being here in reverse, I really think it could be that both parts of this, so whether it be the internal self and the external self, or two different people, there's really this like they don't really fully understand why they're feeling this way. And so that could also be a reason why I'm just feeling kind of a bit of stagnancy or stuckness. Is like it does take it takes time to be able to sit with your feelings and really parse out what they are trying to tell you. And so when you can listen to that, I think that will help you come up with something that feels intuitively better. So it's like if something about this feels a little stressful or a little bit wrong, it's like when you come up with something new about the situation or just a different way of doing things, maybe it will feel a little bit better and a little bit easier, and there won't kind of be this like incompatibility that's there right now. So the oracle card for this is the Frog, which this is the story of the princess and the frog. So it's like the princess loses her golden ball in the pond. The frog gives it back to her and says, you know, like, since I did this, you have to agree to like marry me. And like, I think it's like in the story, he's like, you have to let me come and eat at your table and like sleep in a bed there, and then eventually, like, you know, you have to marry me or something. And the little girl with the ball is just like, oh yes, 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 I'll do anything to get my ball back. And then she agrees and like she doesn't follow through with what she said she was going to do at first, but she eventually does. And then after that she finds out that like, oh my god, this frog that I married is a prince, and like, oh my gosh, it's all so wonderful. So yeah, definitely make sure that it's like when you do come up with this, it is something that you follow through with, because I think it could turn out to be something even better than what you expected. So that is what I have for you guys, pile 2. If you liked this, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification so that way you can be the first to know when I release a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me or a video reading that I will, you know, a privatized video reading just for you so you can go back and watch it over and over again, that can all be done with the link to my website, which will be in the description. And thank you so much for watching to this point in the video or your reading. I love you so, so much, and I hope you have a great day. Welcome, welcome, pile 3. You guys picked the cute little roller skating cat. So this to me has a lot of motion to it, moving faster than you normally can. And just kind of fun too. It's fun to roller skate. This cat looks like he's got a good sense of balance with it, or is finding his balance. So let's go ahead and see what your cards have to say. All right, so when I was shuffling the cards for your guys' reading, the Three of Swords flew out of the deck for the first card. And then when I was shuffling for the Oracle cards, you had 3 cards fall out of the deck there as well. So to cut straight to the chase, I think for the people who picked this pile, you guys are going through a heartbreak or possibly a breakup, or like a huge difficulty in your relationship right now. There's been something that is really hurting your heart right now. And especially with the Death card here, it's like a big transformation is like following in the aftermath of this. So, you know, a lot of times there's like after somebody goes through a breakup, they go through a huge glow up, or they cut their hair, or they dye their hair, or they make some other kind of big change to what it is, like, you know, just like their appearance, their sense of self. It's like they feel like there has to be some big change to kind of go along with the internal change that they're feeling, like an external change for the internal change. I feel like there's kind of that happening. It's like there's some transformation that you're going through due to this thing that hurt. And that's kind of like what the cards want to talk about right now. It drew my attention back to the cat. So it is saying, it's like, you know, you are moving forward, you are progressing in some way. And they do want you to have a little bit more fun with things. But they understand that you're kind of trying to find your sense of balance right now. I actually was thinking about cutting part of my intro with the cat because I was like, this is all kind of just thrown out there. It doesn't really make sense. But it does kind of make more sense now with the reading that I said all of those things. So for the internal side here, it's like you guys have the Eight of Wands. So 8 of Wands to me is very quick, very fast, very sudden energy. And then this 2 of Cups in reverse. 2 of Cups usually deals with a relationship, which is why I emphasized so much the breakup aspect for this first card. So I think for some people, it's like this was a thing that kind of came out of the blue for you. Like you really didn't expect this to be a thing that was happening. And it's interesting that we have the 3 of Cups in reverse on the external side too. So it's like, I really feel like this person over here was being very unfriendly about the whole situation, or it's like they didn't even want to stay friends. Something about this kind of lack of friendship and camaraderie almost. This lack of friendship. And the Page of Wands in reverse is to me about like taking an adventure, choosing to go somewhere. It's like having something that you want to do. And you are kind of setting off on wanting to do this. So it could even be that this person here doesn't really even know what they want or what they wanted out of this situation, which could be one of the reasons why this is hurting so much, is just because it didn't really give you a sense of direction to go on either, especially because this is like the external aspect of the self. So it's like you really don't even know what to do, and it's like you may not even want to talk to your friends about all of this because maybe some of the things that they said were really hurtful to you during this, but there's definitely a feeling of being lost and not even knowing quite who to turn to about this or how to even regain a sense of joy, you know, because that was the thing that they talked about with the cat sticker. So the cards that were on the bottom here, so this was like, to me, the cards on the bottom of the deck are like background energy, so it's like something that applies to the reading, but it's not necessarily like an active component or part of the thing that you can act on. And you've got the Devil card with the 2 of Wands, or the... Oh, you got the Page of Wands in reverse again. This one always throws me off because the page symbol looks so much like a knight helmet, but it's a page. So you got the Page of Wands in reverse again. So I really feel like there is a lack of a sense of direction. It's like this thing happened. You don't really know what it is that you're supposed to do now moving forward. And I think this could also explain why you maybe don't want to go to other people, is this Devil card. So the Devil card is about bad habits, addictions, these like limiting things that we do for ourselves that hold us back. And they can also be toxic external people, which maybe this person ended up being really toxic, and that's why, you know, maybe your friends told you about it, so you don't want to go to them because you don't want them to tell you that they were right, even though they were. But I really feel like it's like something about this relationship or this situation is really bringing out or brought out the worst in you, particularly because the devil has the two lovers chained at the base of his altar. It's a little bit more stylized in this particular deck, but I think I have a tarot tip video about it if you would like to check that out. I will link that down below in the description, or may even have a little card show up somewhere. But it's like something about this situation was holding you back from really truly being able to be in harmony with yourself too, because that's also what some of the love cards represent, is the internal and the external selves acting in harmony with each other. And something about this is preventing you from being able to do that. Something about this relationship was preventing you from being able to do that. Or sometimes we have to take accountability for the fact that we can be the toxic person, so we're not allowing this other person to fully express themselves. And that could even be the reason why this person chose to break up with you, is they felt like you were limiting them, you were hurting them by not allowing them to be themselves fully. But that's only going to be for some people. Obviously you know your own situation, and I think it is important to take accountability sometimes for the toxic things that we do in relationships, whether that be friendships or familial too, family relationships, as well as platonic, is, I guess, friend and romantic kind of merged into familial, rather than saying platonic. But, sometimes we just have to take accountability for our own actions that led to other actions. And then, even if we don't really know what to do with that information or where to go from it, acknowledging something or admitting something is always the first step towards healing and overcoming that, and ultimately becoming that better version of yourself. So, and a little bit of what I picked up on that devil card there, where it's like limiting someone or it's like not allowing someone to be their most authentic self, is actually one of the oracle cards that came out, the seal with the Selkie. So the Selkie myth, if you are unfamiliar with it, I believe it is in like Greenland or Iceland or one of the like northern countries. Maybe it's even a Norse myth. Celtic. I think Celtic was the thing I was looking for. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, so Greenland and northern Canada. But essentially they're these Selkie, and so it's like the Selkie have, they are seals when in water, and they can choose to transform into humans when they're on land. And they do that by shedding a seal skin, which they turn into a coat. And so it's like a lot of times they'll go out, they'll party, go to the bars, hang out, find a score, go home for the night. And then it's like in the following morning, if the person that they are with finds their seal skin, their Selkie coat, it's like they can take it and hide it from them. And then it's like, by folklore kind of like logic, it's like they have to then marry them and stay with them. And it's like, even if these two people have a phenomenal life together, it's like whenever the person gives the Selkie their seal skin back, they almost always leave and go and return to who they are. So I do think for some this is going to be an allowance for you to return back to who you are, because I think there was just some limiting factor in this that has come up a couple of times in the reading. The other card here is the bluebird, which is like the bluebird of happiness in the myth. One of the things is like a prince will transform into a bluebird and then like help somebody out on their quest to find happiness. So it could be that, maybe this person, maybe your partner became somebody who they weren't in order to help you become the best version of you, or vice versa. Maybe you became like, it's like there's a song that I listen to, it's on a couple of my playlists called like Dream Girl, where it's kind of like, just like I'll become your dream girl, like, it's like I'll be anything that you want me to be. And it's like not so much like I will do this, but it's like I became your dream girl and like now I'm not, or something like that. I don't remember, I haven't listened to it in a while. But I think there could be some of that where it's like one person really trying to support the other person so much that they just had to become someone different from who they are. And that's a very difficult thing, to have to try to be someone that you're not. So I don't know, that's the thing that wanted to come through. And the very last one that we have here is Lion. So this is a very like Leo-esque card to me. Oh my gosh, there's even a little bluebird here on the card. These are all very blue, so definitely very communication oriented, or communication focused. So for some people it could be, you know, this toxic trait of not communicating your needs effectively or not communicating in some way. It's like, you know, regardless if it was you or this other person, communication is coming up. But I'm gonna go ahead and read the lion. The lion card promises great protection from powerful forces. Throughout history, the lion has been touted as the king of the beast. Aslan, the lion ruler in C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia, is the best known embodiment of this regal animal in modern literature. His generous spirit served to protect those who visited Narnia. In ancient mythology, the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet was depicted with the head of a lioness to suggest her intense warrior spirit. In other cultures, Hindu legend tells of the Yali, an ancient supernatural lion-like creature more powerful than any other animal. So, I do feel like you guys are being very, like, guided and protected right now, especially because this card kind of stands out a little bit from the other two for me. I feel like you're being protected through this time and this process and this thing that is needing to happen. And to me, I'm also reminded, I don't think they mentioned it in here, but the myth of like the lion with a thorn in his paw. And it's like, I don't know, even powerful people get hurt or get wounded from time to time. And I think it's all about showing compassion to yourself and others during this, because I don't think this was fun for either party. You know, it's like, I do think, you know, the reason why this happened was because one person was feeling hurt, so much so to the point that they felt like they needed to do this. And then this other person here is now hurt on the other side of this. So there's a lot of hurt going around, but there is a lot of protection that is happening for you as well. And now that kind of like this has happened, it's like time for you to remove those swords, remove kind of like the things that were hurting you about this situation, or at least addressing all of these things, and that will help you kind of be able to move forward from this. So that is the reading that I have for you guys, pile number 3. I am sending so much love to you through this process. If this reading resonated with you, I would appreciate if you left a like, comment, or subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification if you would like to see any future videos that I put out. If you would like to get a personal reading, like if you wanted to get a little bit more in depth with some of this, or guidance or advice for how to move forward, you can book a personal reading, which will be linked down below in the description, and that is all on my website. So thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of the video, and again, I love you and hope you have a great day.